Tune in to HMTV Canada E-Zine, which covers online publication, audio interviews, and with the addition of VJ Jordan, Invoke the Metal video interviews. We hope to bring great bands the fans can discover to the table. It's our goal. Check us out at www.hollywoodmusic.tv/HMTV Canada E-Zine. We are here to support and promote our bands and great music at Hollywood Music TV. We interview bands all over the world. Hi, this is DJ Tina, host of HMTV Canada E-Zine. On the phone with me today is special guest and lead singer of Benedictum, Veronica. Hi, Veronica, how are you?
Hi, Tina, how you doing? I'm doing great.
Same here. Curious.
But I'm glad to hear it. What's up?
Curious, what's it like touring with Doro and Winterborn in December?
Oh, that was an absolute blast. Well, you're going right into it, huh? It was a blast. You know, the best thing about the Doro tour, other than the fact that she's an amazing and phenomenal person as well as a talent, is that she had such a professional crew with her, which made all the difference in the world. So we had a lot of fun, made some really good friendships. Winterborn was a blast because they were absolutely crazy. So they partied every night. It was hard getting any sleep on that bus because they were up basically all night. But we had a really good time, and it was an experience of a lifetime.
Was there a special purpose for the European tour? Was Benedictum, Doro, or Winterborn promoting a special event at that time?
Not a special event. I mean, Doro tours a lot. She's a very, very hard-working individual. So, of course, you know, we wanted the label wanted to help promote Benedictum, so it was a really good match to put us on the tour with her. So that was basically the situation with that. And it was, like I said, a really great experience for us, too.
That's awesome. Do you have any North American tours planned for 2008 or any upcoming shows?
We have a lot of upcoming shows in Europe. We've got some festivals in July, the Headbangers Festival, the Rock Horrors Festival, the Alcatraz Festival in Belgium, and then we'll be going out again, in October to Europe, and I think we'll cover, we might be going to Italy and the UK, I hope, and then maybe again in December. And then we only have one show right now in the States, and that is at the Station 4 in St. Paul, Minnesota on the 28th of June.
Most of your fan base located in Europe?
Yeah, at this point, although that's starting to change, which really makes me happy, but our fan base was definitely, our label's based in Europe, most of our promotion was done over there, and we have a rather European sound, so the bulk of our fan base is in Europe.
Can you elaborate on how Seasons of Tragedy is a story of death and transcendence?
Sure. The actual song itself is about the story of the journey of a soul as he goes through life. And if you notice, represented by the 4 seasons, and each season is represented by a bird. There's the owl of winter, the eagle of autumn, the sparrow of spring, and the raven of summer. And so each bird imparts a gem of knowledge, if you will, to the traveler as he's on his life's journey, and that journey hopefully will end in enlightenment.
Is this what your current album is called that you're promoting, Seasons of Tragedy?
That is correct.
Okay, are you doing any video production that the fans can look
I would love to have that happen, but at this point we're just waiting to see if there's going to be a budget for that. Mm-hmm. So that is something we actually just had a band meeting about, because we'd like to put together a video or DVD of some sort to promote it.
Mm-hmm. So you're not looking for any tours in the States to promote that album?
We would love to have a tour in the States. It's not a matter of us, it's just a matter of having that put together. So that is actually our goal. We would love to play some shows in the States as well as play in Europe, and that is something that we are currently working on.
Curious, who writes Benedictum's songs?
Mostly Pete and myself. I write the lyrics and melodies, and he writes most of the melody, the actual music. So we have our own little process where he'll throw down some different riffs for me, and I'll listen to them over and over again and pick out the bits and pieces and arrange them and put melody and lyrics to them.
Do you have any spiritual influences in your music?
I think that whole life is a spiritual process. So I think every breath that I take is actually, is a part of that. I'll speak for myself. I believe, my existence as a spiritual being and a human being in this point in time in this human body. But yeah, and I definitely express a lot of that stuff in some of my lyrics.
So you express a lot of personal experiences as well in your lyrics?
Yeah, writing's really cathartic for me, so I find it a way to express a lot of the things that, in one way or another, metaphorically or whatever, if you will, some of the stuff I experience internally, whether it's, just the struggles that we go through in life and some of the triumphs and the victories and some of the defeats that make life what it is.
That sounds great. It sounds like you're very close to nature in your lyrics and your musical content in what you write about.
Well, in some ways, I guess you could say that, yeah.
Are you Native Indian?
In part, yes. I've got a crazy mixed up, Heinz 57 heritage, if you will. So I've got, my mother is from Germany. My mother is German. My father is African American and Creole, and some Choctaw Indian in there, and all kinds of stuff. So we came out with quite a blend of things in this family.
That's where the awesome input comes in with the lyrics and then the sound creation and everything in your music and the mix you've got going, which is
Thank you.
Which is great. It's different. I like it.
Oh, I'm glad you do.
I like anything that's
full
different.
idea, sister.
Anything that's different and stands out, I really dig in music, especially. Okay, when you're putting your songs together,
yes.
Do you have a technique or alibi for putting sound and melody to your lyrics?
I go with, because I try to stay in touch, I go with the way things feel. I'm a very kind of sensitive, emotional kind of person. So what I'll do when I listen to some of Pete, especially, or if we're out of practice and there's just like an open jam going on, there'll just be something that really resonates with me, and I'll go, that's it. It just feels right. It sounds right, and it feels right. And I'm not one of those kind of people, although I often wish I was. I'm not one of those people who can sit down and just go, okay, I'm going to write. It just usually will come either while I'm driving or something, and sometimes I have to pull off the road and find a piece of paper and write some lyrics down, and it's just, I get inspired in the moment. So it comes to me when it comes to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can relate to that. That's like when I'm drawing something just out of the blue. If I have like an inspiration to draw something on paper, I just stop everything and just do it.
Exactly, but you could sit me at a desk and go, okay, do it. And I would be hard pressed. I mean, I might come up with something, and there's been times when we've been like on a time crunch or whatever, we need to make this happen, or can you change this there and you can change this there or whatever, and that's fine. But as far as just, okay, write a song right now, that's just rough for me, because I really have to feel it, or it has to be somewhat experiential, and it has to be a subject that's really in the forefront of my mind at some particular point in time, and then I can express myself that way.
Yeah, that's usually how most songs are written, or most great artworks are produced, is just at the spur of the moment.
That works for me.
Yeah, I think it works for everybody.
Yeah.
What's your most significant accomplishment?
That's a good question. Getting through life every day and not going ballistic. I really don't know how to answer that one, other than it's all in the perspective of what one would consider an accomplishment. And I do consider, of all the stuff that I've done in my past and the life that I've led and what I've come through, I consider the fact that I'm here talking to you quite an accomplishment. I consider that, I have a very strong appreciation for things, and I try to be extremely grateful because, I battle my own little demons, if you will, every day. And I'm just really grateful for being able to draw my next breath and see what the next moment brings.
Okay, that sounds great. How does your second release, Seasons of Tragedy, differ from your first CD, Uncreation?
I think there's probably just a natural evolution of the sound of Benedictum. I mean, the first album was, a debut album, and we hadn't been together as a unit for very long before we created that album. So it wasn't like we'd been around for years, staying together, and then decided let's put an album together. We were together for a relatively short period of time before we actually went into the studio and started to record. So when we think about it that way, although some of the songs Pete and I had written a while back, with the particular lineup that we had, everything happened really fast. So we had a chance to congeal, so to speak, as musicians and grow a little bit. We learned a lot, from the touring and from working with Jeff and Craig Goldie and a lot of the really great, wonderful people that we've had backing us up. And so we were able to take that and bring that with us to the second round.
Wow. What's Benedictum's criteria for a well-mixed or engineered song?
That's a good one. The song for a well-mixed arrangement, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. For us, I think the formula is that we always say the song has to go somewhere. So even if it wanders, like with the song Seasons of Tragedy itself, I mean, it's like a little roller coaster ride. It takes on a little journey here and there, but it always kind of comes back to something. I don't know if you want to call that a hook or whatever, but it just has to have some sort of structure. And again, it has to have a certain feel to it, because there are certain songs that just make you feel a certain way. And I love listening to music, and I have a real eclectic taste in music, so I listen to all kinds of music. And the common denominator with that is the song has to move me or make me change my emotional state some way. Because you know how people, you'll listen to something, you'll be in a bad mood, and you'll hear a song that just makes you feel better, or a song that really gets you pumped up, or a song that makes you sad, because there's such an emotional resonance with music. It's so important to convey that. And so that's something that, you know, I was like, when I grow up, I want to be able to do that. So I hope that for some people that the stuff that we do, you know, actually makes them feel good.
Yeah, I've had that experience too, and I'm cleaning house, or if I've been in a bad mood and I come home and I listen to something inspirational, it puts me in a better mood.
Exactly. I mean, it really does, you know, it's something about music that really can change your state of being, and that it's a powerful, powerful thing. There's a lot of energy to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Are your current lineup of band members, are they still the same?
I don't know what you have, but I have Paul Courtois on drums, and Pete Wells, of course, on guitar, and Jesse Wright on bass, and we have a new keyboard player named Tony Diaz. So that's our current lineup.
Okay. How about airplay? Where can the fans request your music, on internet or on mainstream radio?
Well, from what I'm getting right now, I just did an interview with KNAC. I do Hard Rock Radio Live. Let's see, the Vault of Metal. Different stations. There's quite a few stations that have been actually starting to play our music, so that is an absolute thrill. So that didn't really happen the first time around as much. So you just go out there and seek it out, or if you don't hear it, just ask for it wherever you can find it.
Okay. What's a typical day like in the recording studio for Benedictum?
Oh, it's a circus. The way it's worked out for us working with Jeff is that we had, instead of a long block of time, limited little pieces of time. So we'd go up there for like a day and a half, or maybe 2 days, or 3 days at the most, and then we'd have to come back in a few weeks and work around different schedules and everything. So we've tried to make it as much fun as possible. It's usually a really relaxed atmosphere. Jeff is very intense when he's working, so it's definitely, there's a lot of ideas. You can feel the energy in the air as far as all the ideas flowing around, and when we come in there, it's really intense, but it's a lot of fun, so you feel it's being at home. So it's like a really good feeling. It's probably better. Working with him has been one of the greatest experiences for me, simply because I've never worked with anybody that I felt really connected with what it is that I do, or just that we always seem to be on the same page of what it is that we want to convey. And he's like the magic man that can help me to bring across what it is what my intent is in the music.
He can help you with your ideas and bring them out.
Yeah, and we're usually like, oh yeah, I'd like to do that there too. We'll usually, a lot of times, we'll just click on the same type of thing that we think would go good here or there, and then he knows my voice really well, and that helps me a lot too. So I'll think that something I did was not really good, and he'll say, no, that was good, and vice versa. There's something that I think, oh, that was great, and he's like, oh, no, you can do it better. And that's really important, to have somebody that really just isn't in there like a hired gun or anything, that really takes a vested interest in you as a talent or as an artist, and that really cares about what's going on. And that's what we get from Jeff, which is absolutely, you just can't put, there's just no, you can't value that enough. It's just wonderful to have someone that believes in you and that is able to really tell when you're having a good day or a bad day, when it's time to wrap it up, or push you when you need to be pushed.
Yeah, that's important.
Definitely do that.
That is important, that you got people that care, that are passionate for the band and care about the quality that they're putting out. That's really important that you got that backup. It's a good thing to have.
It is imperative. I mean, it just makes all the difference. Because I've worked with other people before, not on the same level or anything, but there just wasn't that magic there, and it's just, I cannot say enough wonderful things about him. He has really changed things for us. It's been great.
That's great. How did you meet Dio guitarist Craig Goldie?
I've known him he's a childhood friend of mine. We're both from San Diego.
Wow.
And so we used to hang out together and stuff. He's the one that introduced me to heavy metal in the first place, and we had this little a pact together that if one of us makes it, we'll help the other one out. And I remember saying that like years ago. He has all the wonderful things happen for him, and he's such a great talent and such a sweet person.
Do you still collaborate?
He's one that was definitely responsible for helping us out at a time when, because he'd always heard other projects I was in, and he always was encouraging, but it was like, okay, well, this isn't quite it. It's not quite it. That's good, but you need this and you need that. And when he had heard what we were doing with this band, he was like, okay, I finally heard something that I feel that I can get behind. And he's the one that was responsible for introducing us to Jeff.
Well, do you still collaborate with Craig today and play with him?
Yeah, well, we talk as often as we can. I know he's really busy right now. I just talked to him a couple weeks ago, and we keep in touch, and we just done a radio interview together Oh, it was about 2 weeks ago, yeah. So, yeah, we call each other whenever we can. I think we spend a lot more time, or we have a lot more contact now than we have in the past year, so this is really great. It's been a good thing for our friendship as well.
That's awesome. How about the music industry? What's your opinion of the music industry today, and what would you like to see change?
I don't even want to talk about the music. The music industry is rough. I have had to learn the hard way. I think I'm pretty idealistic, and I try to believe, in the best in people and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of times you got to get a reality check that not everybody that says that they're your friend is your friend. And this is the stuff that I've had to learn the hard way, I guess. The industry, it's a business, and you have to be careful. And for anybody else that's doing their thing out there or wanting to, make sure you're surrounded by really good people that at least know something about the business. There's a lot of people that say they do and really don't. There's a lot of people that will say things to you that just aren't true, and there's a lot of people that want to take advantage or, pull one over on you or get what they can get. So it is a very nasty business.
It sounds like it's a very cutthroat business from your
It's
experience.
Absolutely cutthroat, and I'm not a cutthroat person.
Yeah.
So I always say that to people. I am like the wrong person for this business because, I'm just...
Have you had any bad experiences in the past?
Well, yeah, along the way, sure. Over the years, I've had my fair share of bad experiences. I'm not going to name any names because I really probably don't even remember the names now anyway. But it's just been over a period of time. Or you get people that misrepresent themselves and all that kind of stuff, or actually are out to full-on rip you off. And I've seen it more with other friends of mine that have, been working really hard, and someone promises them the moon and takes them for everything they've got. And, you want it so bad. If someone dangles that carrot out in front of you, it's difficult to put that aside and want to look at what the reality may be if someone is pitching you a dream that you've always wanted. Mm-hmm. So, I've been singing for a long time, and, nothing ever really, didn't have a record deal or anything like that. And, always had a lot of fun and always hoped for stuff like that. So, I have been fortunate to have people along the way to kind of guide me and help me out, but I've still had to learn. Not everybody is what they are purporting to be.
Yeah, you got to be careful who you trust out there.
Absolutely.
That's what it boils down
Absolutely. To. And getting a music attorney. That is really important. I mean, before you sign anything, have it read by somebody who knows the business and can tell you if there's any clauses anywhere and all that good stuff. Because it's just important to cover yourself. It is just like anything else. Like if you're buying a car or a house or anything else, you want to kick the tires, check under the hood, and because it's something, once your moment in the sun is gone, it's gone. Mm-hmm.
So what advice would you have for new musicians or bands wanting to break into the music industry today, coming from your experience?
I mean, persistence for one thing. Don't let other people define you. I mean, if you have a sound that's different, or if you have a sound that you feel is unique, I mean, as long as, you really believe in it, and other people, you just got to keep moving forward with it, no matter what other people say, unless, of course, you're being completely unrealistic. And surround yourself with people that are very positive and that at least have one or two good sort of someone to counsel with, someone who's been in the business for a while, someone who's knowledgeable, whether it be an attorney or someone who's been through it for a while, so that they can give you advice, because there's just a lot of bull out there. There's a lot of good people too.
It seems that way, because I seem to get the same reaction from different bands that's been into the business for years, and then the ones that are new are like they're unsigned and they don't have a record label, but they're digital. They're going digital with their music.
Right.
Yeah, to stay original, and they're really not interested in going towards the record deal. They want to stay independent, and they want to find a distribution label.
That seems to be quite the new wave of things, and you know what? That is not a bad idea. That's where you just have to know what you're doing and have the right resources, because there's a lot of people that are doing that sort of thing and taking care of a lot of stuff on their own and not getting caught up with that whole industry. And the industry itself is changing as it morphs. A lot of people will get stronger, and a lot of artists that you probably never would hear, you'll hear about, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. If you can, with the internet and everything else, there's so many more resources out now. So if you know how to work it, then by all means, make it work for yourself.
Yeah, a lot of the younger ones are going towards that way, and they find that they build a better fan base through touring and than through the internet. But they find that sometimes they can't fly down to the U.S. or over to Europe to record their albums, so they do it over the electronically over the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it saves them a lot of money, but they're into their own self-promotion because of what we were just talking about, trust and being able to trust people out there, because they just
absolutely. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having, a company or someone or some sort of management or some sort of organization, if you will, behind you or with you, in tandem with you, making it work. Again, you want to, seek out the most, I think, practical thing is find somebody who's doing what you want to do and find out what they did. Who do they deal with? And seek out that sort of stuff to see if you can, glean some information from them as far as how they made things work. What were their pitfalls? And you'll find that there's a lot of people out there willing to share their experience. And, unless you're Britney Spears or something and got a ton of money and a huge, budget behind you, it's difficult out there. But, on the other hand, there's so many more opportunities out there to make something happen if you know how to work your resources properly.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to, is knowing what to do and knowing how to work everything.
Exactly.
And knowing which way to go and what your finances and expenses are, because some of them can go broke pouring all their money into just the one project that they're doing and end up nowhere.
Exactly. I mean, I see that. I mean, even for myself, I've sunk a ton of money into making, into making this work. And so has everybody else in the band. We had to work really hard. We've had to put a lot of our own resources into it. We don't have a large budget by any means. We've had to, sometimes we didn't even have the gas money to get to the recording studio. But that's all part of the journey. I mean, we really believed in it and really loved this music. So we pursued it with everything that we had, within reason. We don't lose a home over it or anything. But,
right.
Once you kind of get the ball rolling, and it's good to see, the band getting some attention out there, and we're really grateful for it.
That's awesome. Are you familiar with our music site at Hollywood Music TV?
No, I'm not, so you got to school me, sister.
Okay, if you log on to www.hollywoodmusic.tv, you can sign up for a free free band profile.
Okay.
Just sign up under artist. You can upload pictures and you can upload MP3s of Benedictum.
Well, that works for me. I will have to do that.
And it's free. And once you do, just add all the street team and say word, and we'll understand.
Okay.
It's Cali slang.
All right, sister.
Okay. Do you have a main web address where we can buy Benedictum CDs and merchandise?
Yes. You can go to benedictum.net, and we sell CDs. Both CDs are for sale on that site, and we should have some T-shirts, can't even talk, being done here probably by the end of April. We should have those up and running, but the CDs are available. And, of course, on MySpace, myspace.com/Benedictum. And I would love to hear from people.
Great. Okay, before we wrap up our interview, Veronica, do you have any last words or shout-outs?
Well, Tina, I wanted to personally thank you for taking the time to talk with me and everything, because we really appreciate, you giving us this time and letting people know about Benedictum.
That's awesome. Thank you, Veronica, for taking the time for our e-zine to interview your band. I've listened to your material, and I'm really digging what I hear. I just wanted to say...
That's the whole point.
Just wanted to say you rock.
All right, you take care.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Bye now.